Hi, this is Brian Dossett speaking, one of me garage lessons as well, along with Stephen. Now, what we're going to do about this lesson is to keep everything basic about your reflexes. Your reflexes, we've all got it. For example, if a wasp is about, a fly, we do that. It's a reflex. It's an ordinary reflex. When we was kids and we used to go home and naughty, and our mum and dad used to give us a good hiding, they used to hit us. Not hard, a little slap, but we used to reflex. And this is what we're going to do today. In the fighting game, everybody has their reflexes. I'll show you what I mean. Now, a target is my face, my head. That's the target. For me not to be hit or attacked, I have to move that target. So there's an old saying, old school saying, the best block in the world is don't be there. Easy said, difficult to do. But I'll show you what I mean. Now, Stephen's going to go that way. Turn it. There's a jab, and that's the target. It's that simple. And if that is an attack, what I want to do is to push it away. I want to push it away, and I'll do that. So it comes to there. So I'm in this position. If I do that, I open myself up to the rest. So the idea is it comes and I'll just push it aside. Stevie's going to do that. He's going to throw a jab, I'm going to push it aside. That's all I'm doing. Nothing else. It's that simple. In karate, they do similar blocks. As it comes, they'll block. And in other sports, other styles, as it comes, they'll block. All kind of blocking. But the main thing is you move the target. So if that's the target, and it's coming, let's look at that carefully. If we just do that, that's where it comes. From there to there to there. If we move our head as well, see the difference between that and that? There's a big distance. If we do both, move our head and block, it makes even a bigger distance. So as he punches, bigger distance, and from there we go into different techniques. But this is all about blocking, not techniques. Okay, same thing with the chop. If he chops, that's the target. Exactly the same thing. Pushing it aside, pushing it aside, or moving my head and push it aside. But if that was a weapon, a stick, and he comes to block, he comes to chop me, there's the target. If I just push that aside, he's going to break my shoulder. I've moved my head, I pushed it aside, my shoulder. If I move my shoulder and my head, he's going to come down to my leg. So, if that was a sword, and he did the same thing, and I blocked it, he's going to take my shoulder off. If I move my head and my shoulder, he's going to take my leg off. So as he comes, I've got to move all of that, so I'm completely out of the way. As I said, very, very basic. So from that punch, from a chop, any technique. But how about if he does a roundhouse punch? Now that, still got to block it. So if I even do that, I might get caught. I might have blocked him, but it's not good enough. He'll still come to me. He'll still get there. Alright? So we've got to move the whole target. So I'm here. But now we've got this to cope with. So how do I get that side? By weaving, by moving, taking the target away. Round, Now I'm here. And all this is basic defence, which most instructors know how to teach it, and most students know how to do it. Bobbing and weaving, we call it. You know, don't get stuck in the mud, move about, all kinds of things. But then of course we look at the old-fashioned, many years ago, our forefathers, who were known as the ape men, the ape age, had to find ways of defending themselves. Now, they used to get things, natural things, from nature, from the land, from the sea, to make their tools. And when they made their tools, that didn't come last. They had to learn how to use those tools. For example, a stick, which you've just seen, becomes a weapon. How do we make sticks? You get these from trees, all kinds of material on our land. And in the old days, they had to take leaves off and branches off to make the stick. Then they somehow had to find ways of digging with their claws. Instead of using their hands, they had to find things. It could be from a crab's legs in the sea. It could be anything from the sea, anything on land. Grab anything they could to make weapons, but they have to use those weapons, and they learn how to use weapons to survive, to kill, to be able to eat. Okay? So, a string, simple string. If you look in a jungle, there's quite a lot of that hanging around, and they used to get that string to be able to make something like this, a hammer. They used to find out how they can dig a hole and put a stick in there, tie up that end, tie up this end, and make a weapon. All those kind of things. Even a saw had to come from nature. Even spikes, could be someone's teeth, an animal's teeth. They had to use it to dig. All these kind of things. Then of course they become weapons. So the basics what we just done is quite simple. He might want to, I might be a tiger or an animal. He's got to keep me away. He won't do that, he'll just keep me away. So he's learning how to attack. Before he can do that, he's got to make that. So this is all about different things. Even the brush, you know, I have to sweep up. And how would you make something that would sweep? Think about it. It's not easy. How would you make something to dig holes? Go to your land and you'll find it. It's called a slate. Very sharp stones. So, if he had that, and he's going to come exactly the same, I've got to block that. And then of course, I've got to deal with it. He could have, who are we? Yes. The hammer. Yeah, all those kind of things. All defence. We have to defend from these weapons. And that's how we learn simple defence, from his natural instincts, my natural instincts. Then we go on to this. We kill, we use our weapon. We find a way of making a weapon. We learn how to use that weapon to go and kill, to get this. We want to start being in a position to kill an animal so we can actually use its fur to dress ourselves, for hats and things like that. So that is all about defence. So we go right back again. He's going to hit me. I can either take it or block. Going all to those natural instincts. So have a think about it carefully. We did a film on escaping when Stephen was grabbing my arms. I showed you how to escape. So we just stick that bit in. If I'm good with my hands, but he's got my hands, how can I use my weapons? My weapons are my hands. How can I use them? Well, by the other video, learning how to escape. Now I can use them, but he then can defend. Right, I've got him. He's finished. If he defended that, watch again. I've got this. That could have been a weapon. So that's no good, that block, was it? He's had to move his whole body. Ah, that's difference. So he can either just block it and still become his own enemy, because that's no longer just a hand, that's a hammer. That's a hammer. That's a hammer. Alright? In the martial arts, they call that the back hammer. It's quite that simple. So that's it. That's my little lesson over. You take care. God bless. So that's Stephen, who's a good fighter, and myself as an old man. If you got your tools and you know how to defend yourself and you know how to use them, you're in good stand. You know where you are. Take care. Bye bye.